Hi, I'm Doug from 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast, and welcome to Amiga Art Contest 2021. I would like to welcome my co-host, Vicky. Vicky, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello there, everybody. Thanks, Doug. Yes, welcome to the Amiga Art Contest 2021. Really great to be helping Doug out again this year with the contest. As regards myself, I live in Japan, and so it's Sunday morning here, whereas it's Saturday afternoon in the States. So, I've lived here for about a year and a half now. So, yes, very nice to be here.
Wonderful. Now, myself, I've been an Amiga user since 1988 when I got my first Amiga 500. Absolutely loved it. I kept an eye on the Amiga 1000 for years, just priced out of a 15-year-old's, market, really. But once I was working full-time, picked up an Amiga 500, realized very quickly that the Amiga excelled at creativity, at taking things and creating new things. My friends who had PCs, hey, great, you can do a spreadsheet. That's really cool. Boring. Where myself, I could create images, I could create audio files, manipulate pictures, scan things in with my DigiView, things that just either weren't possible or were just really, really expensive on a PC or Mac. Now, Macs were great because they did desktop publishing just beautifully, which the Amiga also could do. Another thing I really loved about the Amiga when I really got to understand it is how it's standardized on the IFF file format, where you'd create a picture in Photon Paint or Deluxe Paint and it would save it as an IFF file. And as long as your other graphics packages, like your word processor, like your other paint programs, supported the same number of colors, it worked fine. Transfer them from one program to another. And that's something that PCs and even Macs couldn't do. They had a dozen different file formats, constantly converting back and forth. We really did have a very, very creative computer. How about you, Vicky? When did you get into the Amiga market? And did you use it for games or creativity?
So a little bit later for me. So I first got my Amiga 600, which was my first Amiga in late 1993. So pretty much the last days of Commodore, as it were. Prior to that, I had a Commodore 64, and to this day, I don't recall how or why I ended up with any form of computer or games console or whatever, because my parents weren't inclined towards those things, and I have no recollection whatsoever, apart from asking for a Game Boy one Christmas, but I don't know what year that was, probably around about 1990, which obviously I didn't get at the time. So I don't know whether that's what prompted them a year or so later to buy me a Commodore 64 for my birthday, but basically back in the early 90s, particularly in Europe at that time, there was very little alternative to an Amiga. Basically, if you wanted a computer that could play good games, do graphics on, and do word processing, that kind of level of things, then the Amiga was it, basically. There really wasn't much competition by then. Obviously, things changed very quickly after that, but it was just a natural thing that having a Commodore 64 went to the Commodore Amiga. So I very much used my Amiga 600 for Duets Paint, which it came packaged with. Spent hours in that, creating animations and just static images. Loved every minute of it. And of course, obviously games, putting far too many hours into things like Rainbow Islands and Lemmings and so forth. So yeah, that was my introduction to the Amiga.
Nice. Yeah. When I got back full-time into the Amiga scene back in 2018, I'd been in and out of it since 1997 when my Amiga 3000 died. I'd get back into it for a couple of months and spend time with my Amigas, then back into storage they'd go, then I'd pull them out and play with them, back into storage for years. When 2018 came around, I knew I had to do something to really, really, really get back into the Amiga, which is why I started 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast. Then I started thinking, it'd be fun to encourage other people to maybe get back into the Amiga hobby and to do more than just play games on it. Because a lot of my contemporaries, who had YouTube channels, basically concentrated on video games, which is great. But so many people, the only thing they know about Workbench is, I need to load Workbench to get to WHD load to play my games, which is cool, which is fantastic, and I love them. But the Amiga's always been about so much more than just video games, and I wanted to bring that back a little bit. So I decided to contact Vicky and ask her if she was interested in starting an Amiga Art Contest in 2019. And our first year, we concentrated a lot on hand-drawn artwork. That was our biggest category. We had some very little in 3D, a couple people contributed something, and then a couple people contributed to the photo category. And then 2020, I think you'll agree, Vicky, it just took off. I mean, we got 5 times as many submissions, and last year's live stream was like 4.5 hours long.
Yes, it was pretty much epic.
Last year we added the mod category because, it's not just graphics that's artistic, it's music too. It's video creation, it's animation. So last year we created the mod category. This year we added an animation category, and both of those just blew up this year. We got so many fantastic submissions in both of those categories. Right now on your screens, that way, what you're seeing are some images from the 2019 and the 2020 art contest, and I think you'll recognize a lot of them and so many beautiful things. But let's go ahead and get started with this year's contest and take a look at what people submitted this year. You agree?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, Doug.
As we're jumping into this, just a little bit about how I'm doing things this year. Let's get that turned off, and we'll just turn the old Amiga on right over here. There she is. You guys recognize the Workbench. Everything that I'm doing with, as far as displaying most of the 3D, most of the mod files, most of the photos and hand-drawn images, are done right here on my Amiga 1200. Over here I got my Amiga 600, but my Amiga 1200 is doing everything. Everything I'm displaying on my Amiga screen is pumped right over to my PC into OBS, including stereo audio. So I'll be playing a lot of the mod files right from the Amiga, and you'll be hearing that Paula chip just singing her little heart out there. At some point in time, I'll go over with you guys how I have this whole thing set up. It's actually kind of cool, but just one little fun thing for you musicians out there. I've got my Amiga 4000 down here. I've got my 600, and I've got my 1200, all hooked up through a stereo mixer over here. And my Amiga 4000 has an AD516 audio card in it, so I can literally pump simultaneously 20 channels of audio through my 3 Amigas and have them output right through my mixer. So it's kind of fun. If only I was a musician and had any idea what I was doing with music, but the tech is there. Let's start out first with animations. And contrary to what I was just telling you, we're not going to be using the Amiga 1200 to show the animations, simply because there's a couple of them that are MP4 files and a couple of them are really big and take a long time to load. So we're going to look at some nice MP4 images of these contributions. So we're going to switch off here. This first one is our good friend Kevin Saunders. He is the gentleman who actually does the artwork for Amiga Art Contest. He does all the promo screens for me. Out of the goodness of his heart, he created this fantastic animation called Fish V6, version 6. Color cycling and animation combined together, and I think this is really cool. What do you think about this one, Vicky?
Yeah, I really loved it. It made me sort of think of those screensavers that were all the rage back in the 90s of flying toasters and aquariums and so forth. So, but the fact that this is all done sort of using as little as 30 frames of animation,
Mm-hmm.
handmade and so forth, with such an effective result is, you know, a real testament to what you can do with, you know, sort of some of the tools available to you, like color cycling and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Kevin's just got a real
Oh,
talent for this kind of stuff, and yeah,
he's
loved it.
brilliant. He did this in a 256 color high res AGA image in Brilliance 2 and Lightwave 3D. And you've got to take a look at Kevin's stuff. Take a look at his patron page. Take a look at his website. He's designed some fantastic graphics in all kinds of Amiga games and even PC games. Great guy. So thank you, Kevin, for that. Now, our next one up, last year, our friend Remy did a beautiful 3D image of this butterfly, if you guys remember from last year. And just absolutely gorgeous. So this year, he animated it in a Ham 8 looping animation created in real 3D. And this is all in AGA. So, Boat of Karshaller, look at that water, and you tell me AGA is lousy. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous video. What's your opinion on that one, Vicky?
Oh yeah, it's just really, really beautiful. I think I might have actually misquoted actually some of the details. I think I've swapped Remy's details with Kev. So this one is actually a Ham-8 one in 30 frames. But oh, damn it! Already fluffed my lines. We're only about 5 minutes in. Beautiful. This is a really beautiful animation. I never had any real talent when it came to using sort of rendering packages like Real 3D or Imagine and so forth. But yeah, really stunning. And yeah, I mean, AGA is perfectly fine for displaying, you know, sort of high color images and so forth. Sometimes it uses a slightly beefier CPU just to sort of force the, you know, sort of the images into memory, as it were. But yeah, it certainly shows what can be done with your Amiga 1200 or 4000, for example. So yes, stunning piece
Absolutely.
of
He did an
artwork.
incredible job on that. Our next one is our good friend Royce Hunt. Royce has been contributing for several years, and morphing is something that was so popular back in the early 90s. Everybody wanted morphing on their television commercials, and the Amiga had it with Asdig's Morph Plus, I think it was called. It was one of the first morphing packages, and this is our good friend Royce morphing into the Hulk. Pretty cool, huh?
It's certainly interesting, that's for sure. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him in the morning, but but yeah, yeah, morphing was definitely a big deal back in the 90s and so forth, and even sort of the late 80s, maybe kick-started by Max Headroom.
Catch the
I don't know,
wave.
but yeah, I remember being absolutely thrilled with D-Paint for AGA. I think it might have even been in version 4, which came with brushing built into that as well. And yes, when I realised that was available in that package, I spent hours playing with that, mostly because it took forever for my Amiga 600 to do the morphing, but when it was done, it was hilarious.
So awesome, Royce. Thank you. This next one is H. Baroldo, and that's H like the letter H. This one is Pink Panther, and those of us of a certain age will recognize Pink Panther instantly. Hilarious cartoon. This one is done in 32 colors on a WinUAE using personal paint, which is fantastic. Now, I actually remember this episode of the Pink Panther where he was doing something like this. You know, he was always messing with that little all-white blobby dude right there. I absolutely adore this one, and our patrons absolutely adored this one too. You have feelings on this one, Vicky?
Yeah, this is just fantastic. It's you know, a real sort of classic sort of cartoon skit. It's yeah. I mean, and also I have many fond memories of watching the Pink Panther cartoons on TV. I seem to recall that it might have been one of the very last cartoons that you could watch on a Sunday on television, maybe on Channel 4 in the UK. And you know, after that, it was all boring programs like Songs of Praise and still are boring. But you know, so yeah, this brought back a lot of good memories, and just the fact that this was, you know, sort of captured the essence of the fact the Amiga was great for creating cartoons on and so forth. I just, yeah, it's one of those things that you can watch endlessly. So yeah, H has done a smashing job in this. fun, really good work.
Perfect style of Amiga animation. Perfect, perfect way to do it. So much appreciated. Now, this next one here, okay, is from Gareth, and Gareth sent us a couple of animations. This one is called March of the 1.3. So I'm not quite sure where the name came from, but I suspect it has something to do with Workbench 1.3 being on a couple of hundred marching Amigas. This is a pretty cool one here, and it's just a nice looping, simple animation, but it's really kind of fun. So smooth.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, it must be a reference to the Workbench one
Yep.
color palette, which I'm probably one of the few Amiga users that doesn't actually the blue and orange. But no, I've got no nostalgia for that. But yeah, but the animation itself is absolutely superb. Gareth has done a top job with this. Again, a bit like Kev's fish animation. This would be perfect as a screensaver. I think Gareth has really done a lovely job on this.
Yep, agreed. And then we're going to jump into a color cycling animation from Sebastian C. And this is Peter Cushing's. I think we all know who Peter Cushing's was, the actor. Peter Cushing's casts spells. And this is entirely color cycled. And it's so simple. And it's so basic, but so cool. His eyes flash a little bit. The chemicals going from the various beakers flash a little bit. Really, really a clever way to animate.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think colour cycling has somewhat been overlooked, just by over the years kind of thing. But it was just one of the first ways that you could actually do sort of actual animation on screen, because obviously back in the day, it was easier to change the color indexes and so forth than it was to actually physically change the pixels on the screen. So yeah, I really look forward to seeing more color cycling animation, and I really feel that this Sebastian has done an amazing job with this.
Absolutely.
So, great work. So.
Absolutely. This next one is also from Gareth. Gareth brings us another one. It's a wireframe animation called Wires in Space. This was actually a patron favorite, just because, again, it's so Amiga-like, with the fly-throughs and the 3D effects and the animation, very, very 3D demo-like. And I think he did a really cool job on this.
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, you can imagine this actually being sort of like made into some form of game, kind of, in a way, because Amiga's able to basically do line drawing with the blitter, so it's very fast at doing it, and also polygon fills as well. So, you can imagine some form of almost, what was it called, virus on the A-Eon Archimedes. I think it did make it onto the Amiga as well, but by a different name that I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, yeah, this really just stood out for its monochromatic apparent simplicity, but yeah, it's a fascinating animation. So yeah, top work, Gareth.
Very Tron-like too. I mean, you've watched the movie Tron before, I'm sure, and it does remind me a little bit of a kind of Tron-y-like. So that's awesome. Now we've got a couple more fairly long animations to watch, but before we get to those, let's look at a few of them from our very own Vicky. So let's take a peek at your work. I just love these. Okay.
Oh dear. No comment.
Well, you have to comment. You have to tell us about them.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what you pull up first. Sorry, I'm stretching because obviously it's a little bit earlier here than it is in America.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, this one's my OC, original key endo. It's probably going to be very small on the video, but you might want to get your binoculars out. But I'm just holding up a poster of my OC Saki Endo. Basically, for the past year or so, I have been focusing on enjoying my time here in Japan and studying Japanese mostly, to be honest with you. But I have been gradually doing a bit more pixel art. But the main thing that I've been really working on is my manga, Future Saviors, and Saki Endo is one of my three main characters. And this particular animation started out as a sketch in my sketchbook. And I took a picture of that sketch with my iPhone. It's not a particularly new iPhone, it's an iPhone 6, I think. And, and I was able to clean it up, bring it into Deluxe Paint, and then gradually colour it, and then I drew the background and animated it. So there's a bit more work to do on this one. I need to make Saki's hair actually sort of appear as it's fluttering as the wind rushes in, and there's also some additional shading work to be done. So yeah, Future Series is the manga, or comic if you will, that I've been working on for the past year. I'm publishing it for free. I'm sure there'll be links somewhere to it. So yeah, it's all about how Saki's life is going to be changed beyond all recognition by the tragic events of the Great East Japan earthquake that happened here 10 years ago in Japan. So that's what this animation is. She's sat in her friend Hisao Sato's Mitsubishi Starion, so cruising through Tokyo. So that's what this is.
I love the parallax scrolling in here. That is so cool, that parallax that you have in there. I really like it. And I can see what you're saying about, and you just need a little bit of movement in Saki's hair. It's not like you have to have it blowing crazy in the wind, but just enough to know that that's animated. Kind of like the Peter Cushing's animation we just saw. That it was just subtle movements, but it's like, okay, there it is, and that's really cool. You know, so just something cool and subtle would just, it's a gorgeous one. Really enjoy it. So let's take a look at your other one here.
Really.
This one is in the same vein. This is going to be the Tokyo.
Oh, okay, yeah. I included this one just because it would actually emphasise that, because obviously the aperture of the open car window is quite small, but actually the background itself was a little bit larger. So it just shows the parallax effects. Essentially, there's 4 layers: night sky, rear skyscrapers, foreground skyscrapers, and the streetlights. So, and this is all done 100% in Deluxe Paint, from drawing the background through to actually doing the animation itself using the Move Requester and stencils. So, and this can all be done on, pretty much any Amiga. You can use it with Deluxe Paint free. Yeah, and it's, the image of Saki herself and this background is all within 32 colours, so it's not ham or anything like that. But yeah, you can do some really awesome stuff with parallax and so forth. And yeah, I'll be doing a lot of stuff like this over the coming year or two, sharing it on my YouTube channel, sharing it with my patrons and so forth, and hoping to come up with something a little bit different for the Amiga, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on.
It's just absolutely brilliant. I just love it. Now here's one from a little while ago that I really enjoy. Saki Rewind. I remember your video that you did on this.
Oh, great, yeah. So actually this is probably what I was thinking about to talk about later on. So I can't spoil anything about the story of Future Saviors, but the first 2 chapters are out there, and the 3rd chapter should be going out this week with a bit of luck. So obviously I have a full-time job, and I like to have a life. Go skating, I like to go walking, I like to actually live a life other than just working away all the time. So, but basically, just briefly to say that what I'll be doing on the Amiga side of things is that I've longed to create almost like an opening for an anime, essentially, like the opening credits. And so I'm looking to create both hand-drawn assets, which is what a lot of my artwork over the past year has been, to be fair, and what I absolutely adore creating, and merge that with Amiga pixel art and mash it all together in Final Cut and just create something that's not just 100% Amiga. It's actually using the Amiga as a creative tool rather than a be-all, end-all of everything, and I feel that that's really pushing me as an artist and my creative vision. So this one is basically the hand-drawn image of Saki, and all of the sort of VHS rewinding effects and artifacts and so forth are all 100% Deluxe Paint in hand mode. So you can do some really awesome stuff with Deluxe Paint. And yeah, this is, I believe, 24 frames per second, and I think the animation is only 24 frames itself, so it's literally 1 second of animation looping. So And all of this again can be done with Dealer's Paint 4 and above. So yeah, it's a very powerful
Yep.
tool. Just use your imagination.
Absolutely brilliant. Yep, I really like this one too. Yep.
Have you got from there?
Okay, we're going to jump into we're going to jump into a couple of fairly long animations here. This one we're just going to play part of. Let me introduce it first. I'm sorry. This one's from Brent Santon, and I won't be able to talk over the beautiful music you're about to hear. So he's a very talented musician. He did this one in Deluxe Paint 5 on a virtual Amiga on FUSE in Linux. And the music you're going to hear, and you heard a little piece of it right there, is traditional Irish dance music. He did not do that on the Amiga, but he did the images on an Amiga in ImageFX and saved them as bitmaps and imported them or exported them out and put together the animation portion of this. So let's take a look at Merry Jellybean Tramp. Now, I would love to have that one go on for the full 5 minutes or so that it was going to go on for, but you can watch that entire video on my AmigaArtwork.com. As soon as we're done and we publish this, I'm going to be unlocking the 2021 gallery. You can watch the whole thing. It's like 6 minutes long, but it's really cool. I love how he combined that absolutely gorgeous music, that Irish dance music, with a really, really just a nice, simple, fun Amiga animation. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that as well, and I love the fact that, as you say, Doug, it was combining so many different sort of assets from different systems, using emulation, using Linux and so forth, using ImageFX and so forth. So I feel that Brent did a really good job with this, and I think that just underscores the previous point that I was making about that, let's not only think about doing stuff 100% Amiga end to end, let's think about the Amiga as part of the chain of our creativity. So super job by Brent there, and yeah, please go and watch the full animation on the Amiga Art Contest website, which will be available shortly.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yeah, I combine, using my digital DSLR camera, bring my images into my PC, then export them into the Amiga, do all my work on the Amiga on the photo, bring them back to the PC, print them on my printer. So yeah, it's not 100% Amiga, but the Amiga is a critical tool in getting certain kind of effects and certain kind of visuals and audio, and so let's use it for what it's strong in. I love it. Yep. Now,
yeah, totally agree.
This next one is also a long one, but we're going to play through the whole thing because it's really, really cool. This one is also from Brent Santon. This one is called Prom Night on Callisto. It was made a few years back, and the music is all his and his band's. It combines Amiga designed and generated animation with really awesome music, which unfortunately is not Amiga generated, but puppeteering too. So it combines Amiga animated images and puppeteering. He used a virtual Amiga with ImageFX, Aladdin 4D, Lightwave, and D-Paint to create a lot of the graphics images on here. Some of it, like the 3D rendered scenes, he created on the Amiga, but then brought it over to the PC in Lightwave just because it renders faster. But it was all created originally on the Amiga, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. So sit back, relax, and let's look at Prom Night on Callisto. Seriously, that is so cool. That is such a fun video, in my opinion. Just the fact that the equivalent of the Amiga 1200 that a lot of you have sitting in front of you right now, or the Amiga 4000, you can literally create that level of quality of animation, the graphics on there. He just did a fantastic job on that. And the music, I mean, how can you not like that music? That is fantastic. What do you think about that one, Vicky?
I was just blown away by basically that one. I think for a number of reasons. One, it just brought back lots of fond memories of watching that kind of animation and so forth on TV as a kid. It made me think of an advert that I don't know whether it aired in other countries, but there's this rather horrible product called Smash in the UK. I hope they've stopped making it, but it's basically like a potato that you rehydrate and, with water. It's disgusting stuff. You know, sort of, yeah, so nasty. But that's not what. There was an advert for this product, and basically it made me think of the sort of like the little robots that were in that advert. Also, it really made me think of the Jim Henson stuff, so obviously the Muppets and so forth, and all the puppeteering and that, just fantastic. And then to merge that with the Amiga rendering and so forth, I just thought was just such a really amazing contribution to the contest, really amazing piece of art and animation. Yeah, just so many reasons to love that. And as Doug says, you know, like the equipment that you've got probably in front of you, like even if you've got like a PC or a Macintosh laptop, you could emulate the Amiga, you can make it run really fast. I mean, I use pretty much a 10-year-old MacBook Air, and it will run as fast as a 68060 Amiga kind of thing. So, you know, if you want to do fast rendering and stuff, you know, you could sit at your physical hardware if that's what you want, but then bring your files over to your PC or your Macintosh or Linux machine or whatever it is, and just create stunning pieces of work like this. And not everything has to be created in, you know, I've got to do it this week because I need to put something on social media. Spend some time lovingly creating these things and all the rest of it, and it will all come good. Just loved it. Loved it.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. So our next and final entry into the animation is our good friend Royce Hunt, who's given us another one called RST. Pretty cool, huh? That was pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I loved at the end how he put all the credits in there for how he did it. He used a combination of a next-gen Amiga with a SAM 460 board, a Windows 7 machine running WinUAE, and I think a couple of other things in there, and all the different software packages he used to render it. Really good job, Royce. Royce did a great job on that one.
Yeah, you did an amazing job. What I really loved was the sort of, I'm not very up on space stuff, so I'm probably calling stuff, but you know, like those space dust or nebulas or something like that. I'm saying words as if I know what they mean. I don't really. All effects were just so well done. I just thought Royce really, really created a really great animation there. So yeah, great work.
Yep, absolutely, 100% agree. He did a great job. But now we get to the part where we announce the winners of the animation categories. And our second place winner, who wins their choice of personal paint or ImageFX from our friends at A-Eon, thank you A-Eon for your contribution, is Brent with his Prom Night on Callisto. Let's get that up here. And no, we won't go through the whole thing again. I'm sorry. But I think this is well deserved for a second place prize, without a doubt.
That would be doing the puppet.
So congratulations, Brent. Fantastic job. We love it.
Absolutely.
Now we've got one more prize, which is the first place winner of our Amiga Art Contest for the animation category. And that, my friends, is Pink Panther from H. This one, our patrons absolutely loved it. They helped us vote. Vicky and I absolutely loved it. And something about it, just, it's not the most complicated animation out there, but man, is it heartwarming, makes you laugh. Thank you. You're our number one winner in the animation category, H. And enjoy your $50 gift certificate from retrorewind.ca. Great guys.
Well done, H. That was a fantastic entry. So, yes. Congratulations.
Yep. So, let's jump right into our 3D category. Amiga's always been a great leader in 3D and ray tracing, and we've actually just seen a lot of that in the animation category. Quite a few of them did the 3D and the ray tracing on there. Aladdin 4D, Lightwave, Real 3D, Impulse, Imagine, Turbo Silver, and I know I'm missing a bunch of them, but there were so many 3D packages that just weren't available on PCs and weren't available on Macs because they just couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Our first entrant here, let's get that up. Back to the Amiga. Too many mice. There we go. And we're going to go to our 3D category. I think you guys might recognize this name. Kind of a fixture in the Amiga community. Eric Schwartz. We've all seen Eric's videos going back to the late 80s, I think, when he started doing them. Like the jet plane, the animated jet plane with a personality. Super Frog, he worked on that. Sabrina Online, all of his animations and pictures that he did back in the 80s and 90s, and he's still doing them today. And here we've got the Gorfian robot. You guys know the game Gorf, encountering the USS Enterprise. And again, Eric, you're fantastic. You are just a fixture in the Amiga community, and we appreciate you. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I just want to echo that as well. Eric was a huge influence on me in terms of how I used the Amiga back in the day for animation and so forth. His animation's iconic, but I was never very familiar with his work that he did as regards 3D. So, yes, really love the characterization here of Gorf and so forth. So, yeah, top job, Eric.
Without a doubt. Our next entrant is our good friend Kevin Quattro. And Kevin, he also has an Amiga YouTube channel, and it is the most poorly produced Amiga YouTube channel on the internet. But those aren't my words. Those are literally Kevin's words. Literally Kevin's words. That's his tagline. The most poorly produced Amiga channel on YouTube. So love you, Kevin. You know that, brother. He's been in the industry creating graphics for television shows for years. You go on IMDb and you'll find a bunch of stuff about Kevin Quattro. He's just recently moved out to the Carolinas, and his first submission to the contest is Subgate. See what I did there? Submission. Never mind. This is absolutely a cool image right here. This is San Francisco and a submarine about to go under the Golden Gate Bridge and leave the harbor. This is what Amiga 3D images were when we were back in the 90s, looking at these things in the magazines, and this is what we visualized here. Just wow, lens flare, wow, reflections. This is it. What do you think, Vicky?
Yeah, just an absolutely stunning render, this one. Just the atmosphere of the sun sort of reflecting on the water and so forth. Yeah, you can just sort of tell that this is either sort of, does the sun obviously has risen, or maybe just as it's setting perhaps, but the atmosphere that this image captures is just wonderful. It really is a stunning render, and yeah, I hope that it provides plenty of creative fuel for others of what they could do with their 3D rendering packages on their Amiga. So top job.
I was just in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, so I think that direction. I think the sun's setting in that one, so that's heading out of the harbor. I think.
Oh,
but,
okay.
you know, I've only been there once.
On the other side of the Pacific, I guess.
And that image just broke Kevin's Amiga 3000. He was just re-rendering it today, or last night, and after he re-rendered that image on his Amiga 3000, his Amiga 3000 stopped working. So really depressing, but I think he's going to be able to fix it. He's been working. I've helped him out a little. Chris Edwards, my buddy's been working with him a little. I think it'll come back to life, but that's the image that killed it. Let's look at a few others from Kevin.
Wow.
This one, I think everyone will recognize from the movie Tron. These are some light cycles from Tron. And if you're going to render something in 3D, render some Tron. That's just cool stuff. And then over here, we've got a tank from Tron. This would go right along with Gareth's wireframe animation. Put a couple of these tanks in there and the light cycles, and they'd all go together. Maybe the two of them should get together and create a really cool Tron animation. So beautiful stuff, Kevin. Really, really like it. Okay. Now, Gary Hart has submitted a bunch of samples for us from his collection. Now, Gary Hart submitted about 30 or 40 submissions to me. So I love them. Every last one of them is just so cool, but we don't have time to go through 40 of them. So what I did is I picked half dozen of them that really are reflective of the kind of work that he did in 3D. So we're going to take a look at a few of those. And I think most people recognize that, the Starship Enterprise. Absolutely beautiful. And these were all done in low resolution. This one was probably my favorite of all the ones he submitted. I think that's a Formula One race car. Probably can't advertise cigarettes on them anymore, but I think it's a really, really nice job for that race car. I love the reflections on the ground. Jumping up into a raptor. Hey! Got to do 3D dinosaurs too. And good shadows, good reflections on the ground, little light streaming in. And this one, just to give you guys nightmares. Just imagine this little guy climbing over the mountains coming after you. Yeah. And then a Spitfire here. This is a cool one. Of course, I don't think they really fly in outer space, but what can you do? And lastly, let's take a look at one more of them. Triceratops. I love the spotted colors on this. And a nice Y-Wing from Star Wars. I think he did a cool job on these. He did these many years ago, and that's just the kind of thing. We get a new 3D modeling package, and we're like, cool, what can we make? Let's make the Enterprise. Let's make spaceships. That's what we all did back in the day. Got any opinion on those, Vicky?
Yeah, I might be wrong. Maybe I've seen them somewhere else, but I have a vague feeling that I saw some of Gary's work in Amiga magazines in the 90s in like Amiga format, maybe CU Amiga. So Gary, do let us know if you're in the comments. But yeah, I just think that very talented 3D artist. So superb.
He did those in Imagine, Real 3D, Vista Pro, Image Studio, Deluxe Paint, and Personal Paint. So he ran the gamut on those. Now, this next little guy here, this is our friend Mark Schmidt, who is an avid 3D artist. He does a lot of modern work too, and Babylon 5. Now this one, this is cool. This has a little story behind it. He made this back in the day, back when Babylon 5 was a thing, and he took a VHS tape and he stopped the VHS tape and analyzed individual frames of Babylon 5 to get the designs of the ships just right, which I thought was really cool. He rendered it originally on an Amiga 2000 using Lightwave 3D, and it took about 9 hours to render back in the day, so he must have had a good accelerator in there. Very timely, because they just announced Babylon 5 is coming back in a recreation of the original series. What do you think about this one, Vicky?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, I'm not really a sci-fi fan per se myself, so I've never watched Babylon 5, but I love the atmosphere of this image, the colours and so forth, and yeah, just a really super piece of work. You know, the actual, again, I'm talking about space as if I know anything about it. I probably still think Pluto's a planet, but regardless, this is a superb piece of work, and yeah, it rendered this in 9 hours back in the day. You must have had like you say, a pretty beefy Amiga to do that, because I think that's the thing that always precluded me doing it, because my little Amiga 600 didn't like doing much in the way of rendering. So super work. Thank you so much. Awesome.
Now, not much into sci-fi. Okay, do you know who Jean-Luc Picard is? And if you don't, I may just have to hang up this call.
No, I don't know who he is at all.
Good
Sorry,
Lord.
Dan.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today, Vicky.
I do. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, see you over and out.
He was that wizard in Doctor Who,
no,
right?
I am aware of that.
Yeah, he was the wizard in Doctor Who.
From Star Wars, isn't he? Oh no, not from Star Wars. The young ones. That's it. I remember the name very well.
Yep.
Sorry.
So,
yes.
Our next bunch are from a gentleman named Monty Brunette, who, we got to get rid of Babylon 5 here. Accidentally got rid of Vicky. And Monty sent a plethora of images to us, and I've got a couple of them that I want to show you here. He probably sent total between this and the hand-drawn probably another 40 images, but I think we'll just stick with a couple of them here because they're very representative of the kind of work he did. This is from a program called Organica, which I honestly have never heard of, but is kind of cool. He was a big fan of these geodesic domes back in the day, so he created like this entire little, almost like a little town of these geodesic domes. And I think the colors he chose are really cool. I think that it's a neat little color scheme that he did here. Look, there's some duckies in the water, or maybe geese, but the stones look really cool. And it just got some neat effects. And again, his color choices, really awesome. Here's another one, a little different view. So, looks like a slice of pie cut out there at the bottom. So what do you think about Monty's stuff? That's pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, Monty's stuff is really cool. I mean, I've never heard of Organica either. You know, it's not to say that I should have heard of it, but yeah, the thing that these images really stirred up to me was some of the later sort of Amiga and also PC games, like Theme Park. There was an introduction at the start of Theme Park that showed you this sort of 3D representation what you could build. It really put me in mind to that, and like Doug. I love the bright poppy colours that were used by Monty here. So yeah, really, really good
Yep.
work. Thank you so much for
Our
sharing.
next guest is named Muad'Dib. Okay, that's not his real name, but that's what he goes by. He is an awesome guy. If you don't know who Muad'Dib is, look him up on Twitch. He has a show he does every couple of weeks that is Lightwave training. He will literally train you how to work in Lightwave on the Amiga and create incredible images. And he's a heck of a nice guy too. So this is an image that Muad'Dib did for the show, and this is called Amiga Hangar. So this is an Amiga 500. No, this is a 1200 in space, and the mouse are the space shuttles docking in the disk drive port. And I think this is really, really a cool image. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I love the way it's sort of using the Amiga just to sort of slightly sort of shake up the space theme kind of thing, and just top work, and just have to echo the sentiment that yeah, Mordin is just one of the nicest guys, and yeah, unfortunately I can't be at Amiga Islands next year because I'm just a few miles away, but yeah, I'm sure if you do get a chance to hang out with Mordin or join his I think he's part of the Amiga 3D Ray Tracing Society and that top guy, so, and just yeah, but this is just a beautiful piece of work. So yeah.
Oh, so you've actually met him before? Have you met him in person? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've met him twice. Yeah, both at Amiga Islands.
I only know him
top
virtually.
Guy, so I feel like I didn't get to chat to him enough last time, but I was quite tired.
Now, our next submission is from Sophie Rose, who's an incredibly talented musician in addition to an Amiga artist. Now, Vicky, you would like Sophie because Sophie uses an Amiga 600 too. That's her machine of choice. So, yay for the Amiga 600s.
Amiga 600 represent.
And she actually did this image on her Amiga 600, and I just fell in love with it. This is such a cool image. La, da, 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 da. And it's just in time for the holidays. I mean, we just got done with Halloween. Let's put the Christmas presents out. I love the colors again. I think the colors are really cool and different. I love the reflection she used. I mean, look at the mirror in the background reflecting the back of the presents. And all of the presents tend to be Amiga themed. So good on you, Sophie. This is an awesome, awesome picture. Really, really enjoyed this one. Vicky?
Yeah, just want to echo that sentiment. Regardless of joking around with the Amiga 600 use here, but Sophie has done just such an amazing job. I think she's really shown her talents here about 3D rendering, like all the little subtle details, the things that I probably even didn't notice myself until sort of like I really had to stare at it and thought, wow, she's done an amazing job with this. So love the colour of it, and yeah, I guess it is. Well, it's November 14th here in Japan, so. Yeah, so and I did see a Christmas tree at one of my schools on Friday, so it's never too early for Christmas, I guess. So yeah, top
absolutely, she did a great job, and I'll have the links to her Twitter account in the description. You should follow her. Everyone should follow her on Twitter. She releases some really, really cool music. She's got some music on SoundCloud and everything. So that brings to an end our 3D category. That went nice and fast. So let's talk about who wins in that category. Here's the winner is. Very good. Okay. Now this was a tough call because there are so many incredibly awesome pictures, exceptional images in the 3D category. But we had to pick some winners, and along with our patrons and Vicky and myself, our second place winner is, coincidentally, Sophie Rose. I guess I could have just left the image up there. Is it going to come back? Hey, it's coming back.
Yeah, oh well.
And there we go.
Piece by piece.
No, I forgot to click the little button that said Amiga is what I did. So Sophie, second place winner. Fantastic. You get a copy of ImageFX or Personal Paint from our good friends at A-Eon, who are a sponsor of this year's Amiga Art Contest. Great job, Sophie. And now let's talk about our first place winner. This one is a patron favorite A lot of patrons voted for this one. I voted for this one. Vicky, it was in your top 2 or top 3. And my son Daniel also said this was the best one. So that just pushes it right over the edge. If Daniel says it's good, it's good. So let's take a look at who our next first place winner is. Da-da-da-da. The suspense is killing me. Actually, I just have to click the mouse button. So. Our first place winner is Kevin Quattro with Subgate. Good job, Kevin. Absolutely deserved. And with your $50 gift certificate from Retro Rewind, maybe you can buy something to fix that Amiga 3000 that blew up rendering this image. Good job, buddy. I appreciate everything that you do for the community. So,
I'm sure you could buy a couple of snipes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No problem at all. So our next category is the mod category. Awesome, awesome, awesome Amiga music. I mean, the Paula chip, even today, and correct me if I'm wrong, but even today, the Paula chip sounds fantastic. When I hear music, some of this mod music like that Hoffman comes up with, it's just, wow, that's a 35-year-old computer that's playing that. It's just fascinating. So I love that we opened up the mod category. And really it's the music category, because it doesn't have to be a mod file. It can be, you can hook up your MIDI equipment to your Amiga and control your MIDI equipment, and that is absolutely usable in this contest as long as it's Amiga generated somehow. You used an Amiga. So let's jump into it, and let's pop into one of my lovely friends. Barkbit is his name. That's not his real name, I don't think. Ephraim Juntunen. Ephraim Juntunen. Okay, Barkbit. Barkbit it is. Let's listen to his song, Sky Ripper. And load this up. We're going to use Eagle Player. Now, I like Hippo Player just fine, but I have some issues with it with Amiga OS 3.2. Pretty darn epic, if you ask me. Yep, that was really, really good.
Yeah, totally agree, Doug. I love that piece of music from that bit. It was just such a journey as well to listen to. Certainly something that I would be downloading and putting onto my real Amiga 600 as when I can get
Absolutely.
it over here in Japan.
Yep, yep. No, I'm impressed. I love the stereo work that he did in that, and yep, that's good, good, good mod music there. This next one, there's a story behind this one. Okay, so just listen up for just a second. This one's from Jonathan K. In 1998, when he was 14, what he did is he and a friend were in school in England, in the UK. He was about 14 years old, and there was a music class, and the project was to compose a song and play it back to the rest of the class. So if you couldn't play an instrument, you were expected to just do something simple like on a keyboard, you know, like a Yamaha or something like that. So they asked, since they were doing it as a composing exercise, could they do it on their computers? And the teacher agreed. So they went to each other's house and composed the following song called CJ Rock. Jonathan had an Amiga 500 and his friend had a 500 Plus and then an Amiga 1200, and they did this in Octamed from one of the Amiga format cover discs. Neither one of them were musical at the time, so they fiddled their way and muddled their way through Octamed, and when they played it back for the class, it didn't go down too well, according to Jonathan. Some of them, they accused them of cheating or not playing fair because they did it on a computer. And then there's some applause at the end of it, and they thought that was arrogant. But the teacher thought it was great, and they liked it because they were thinking outside the box. So remember, this was made by some 14-year-olds back in 1998 when you listen to it. Let's bring up CJ Rock. You know what, Jonathan? We're going to take your word for it. That composition was about 5 minutes long, and he said his teacher couldn't quite get through to the end of it. But imagine, 14 years old, great job, A for effort. And I loved this story. Just absolutely loved this story. What's your opinion there?
Basically the story behind this one sort of brought back a few memories for me because I'm probably not too much of a dissimilar age and maybe a year or two older. But we had actually the school did have an Amiga 500 in the music room, and usually we would be messing around on the Yamaha or Casio keyboards and so forth. But whilst it was well beyond me, occasionally the Amiga 500 in the music room was used to MIDI sequence using MusicX. I never fiddled with that. I just played with the say tool. But the story behind this really sort of brought back a lot of memories. Good. So yeah, thanks for sending it in with such a wonderful effusive explanation.
Makes it, and the full mod file is available on my website on amigaartwork.com. Again, I'm going to unlock it here in a little while. If you want to listen to the whole thing, have at it. Our next one is from my good friend Litwarski, also known as Henry. He said after Christmas 2020, he was on a 250-kilometer car ride, and he suddenly had an inspiration to do some Amiga tracker music, which he had not done in 10 years. And he was thinking about a little ditty or a melody, and he was thinking about it the entire car ride. And when he got home, he started with his Amiga 1200, launched ProTracker, and wrote down the jingle that he created on his car ride. And he says this is called Falling Tears because it will probably make you cry because it's such a sad little song. I said, Vicky, it did make you cry.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Oh.
I really like what he did there. I like the instruments,
Yes,
and that's just
yes, it did.
a catchy little tune. And I really like what Litwarski did there. He did a really, really great job, and I'm glad he got back into doing it. I'm glad he got back into creating mod files, and I hope we hear lots more mod files from him. He's a great guy. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll have the link in the description too. Check him out. Okay, let's move on to our next one, and this one's going to be a little bit different. This one, he supplied it as an MP4 file so we could watch the actual tracker play at the same time. Now, the cool thing about this one is this is from Gideon Tebbutt, and he took the samples from the Monkey Island games on the Amiga and then used them to recreate the theme from Pirates of the Caribbean, which is really, really cool. So watch, listen, and enjoy. Absolutely brilliant. That one, I just love how he combined uh, the music from the video game along with the soundtrack from Pirates of the Caribbean and just glom those together. That was really cool. And the fact that he combined it with a visual, that's great too. I absolutely love that one.
Yeah, really great production from Gideon there. I mean, it was just such an original idea. I mean, I can certainly see sort of once I actually read about
Mm-hmm.
sort of how did it came together. I sort of thought, oh, I can see the connection there, but just to come up with that in the first place, really super work, Gideon, and also really nice to see the Optimed tracker
Mm-hmm.
software playing
Yep.
the track as well.
Yep.
So great work.
Now, this next one, this is from Simone, who was our winner from last year in the mod competition. And this one does not disappoint. This was actually, it's from the end credits of a Metroidvania game, like R3D, I think it's called, that they were working on for the Amiga back in 2017 and never released. And I really, really, really hope they release the game because the music that goes along with it is absolutely incredible. And I think you guys are going to love this. That was a beautiful song. That was fantastic. And I really hope that Simone and his crew finish the game that song comes from, because if that's the music from the game, I can only imagine the game's just going to be just mind-blowing. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Do you have an opinion on that one, Vicky?
Yeah, very atmospheric, and I can see how that fits the Metroidvania game that it's presumably written for. So, yeah, and hopefully we get to see that game see the light today. But yeah, another very strong contender from Simone. Thank you very much for your wonderful submission.
Now, our next mod submission is another submission from our good friend Sophie Rose. This one is called Into the Night. I think Sophie did a great job on that one. I hope she continues to make awesome mod music like that. Like I said, she's a musician. She's got stuff on SoundCloud. I'll put her link in the description for some of her other work. But I want her to continue to use Amigas for making music, because she does a really, really good job. Good job, Sophie. You have an opinion on that one?
Yeah, Sophie. Yeah, yeah. She's an amazing talent, and yeah, genuinely urge everyone to check out her SoundCloud as well. But yes, looking forward to hearing more Amiga mod music and that kind of stuff from Sophie as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Sophie. Awesome effort.
Now our next one is a little bit different. This one's coming in the form of a music video from the one and only Paulie Alex Bow. And I think a lot of you know Paulie and know just how talented she is. This is a remake of Chris Isaak's Wicked game with her own twist and flair on it. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on how she made it, because she literally spells it out in the video exactly how she makes it, which is so cool. But I have to be upfront. The song itself was what she submitted to the art contest, not the music video that goes along with it. I got that long after the contest closed, so that when we judge, we only judged on the song, not on the music video. But you're going to love the music video. It's so good. There is no denying. There is no denying that that is an incredible rendition of Wicked Game. Just incredible. She's a very talented musician. I'll have the links to some of her work in the description. One of her bands is called Elmo Sex Whistle. Elmo Sex Whistle, which is a cool name. Hard for me to get that out. I'm a prude. Love you, Paulie. But wow, what a great rendition. And I absolutely love how she described every single thing she did with the Amiga in an Amiga 1.3 workbench window. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. Do you have an opinion on that one, Vicky?
Well, I'm sure Elmo's sex whistle is difficult to get out, but aside from that, oh man. Okay, back on track. Absolutely stunning. Really stunning. I was delighted when, I think you were so excited when this one came in, because it was just different from, I think, it's certainly different from what I was expecting. And just to hear that level of music production using the Amiga as a key tool within that and so forth, and Paulie explained it so well in her video about how it all came together and so forth. And yeah, just such a stunning rendition of such an iconic track as well. So yeah, really knocked my socks off that one. So, and we'll happily record that onto MP3 or cassette and so forth, and listen to that outside of the contest.
I absolutely did that. After she sent that in, I probably listened to it 15 times. I'd play it in my car back and forth when I'm going to work or something like that. Wow, good stuff. Good stuff. So that brings us up to our next little part right here, which is where we talk about the winner of the mod competitions. So our second place winner, number 2, and the winner of a copy of either ImageFX or Personal Paint from our good friends at A-Eon. You guys know who you are. That goes to Barkbit for his awesome Sky Ripper track. Just absolutely incredible. So good. So good. Now, to be honest, there was Simone and Sky Ripper. They were just like neck and neck. It's just, which one, and it was the patrons who kind of pushed it over the edge. A couple more voted for Sky Ripper, so fantastic. Now, how about our number 1 first place winner in the music category? Well, that would be Paulie Alexbo with her rendition of Wicked Game. Just hands down, something about that just knocks my socks off. I just love to listen to it. She combined the Paula chip, that's her playing the guitar, and that's her singing of the obviously, and the drum tracks from her drum machine that's done with MIDI, and then wow, that's how you create music on the Amiga right there. Absolutely. And her prize is a lifetime supply of blue hair coloring. Oh, okay, not really, Paulie. Not really. It's the $50 gift card from our friends at Retro Rewind. And yes, Paulie's a friend of mine, so I can tease her. Good work.
Yeah, that's very well deserved indeed. So yeah, just so good to see you Amiga pushed in that way. So, and but I'll take the
yeah. All right, you look good in that. Okay, let's move right along away from our mod category and give Paul a chip a little rest here. And let's talk about the photo category. Now, photo categories kind of fun because you can do so much with it. A lot of people might think, oh, take a photo, bring it in the Amiga, done. Not at all. We want you to have fun with the photos in there. Do something creative. Do something out of the ordinary, something different. And yes, regular photos can look beautiful on the Amiga. I've got one that I'm going to show you that I did. It's a Ham 6 photo. You'll see it in a minute, but you'll see what I mean about the detail and the quality you can get out of Ham 6. But we really want you to have fun. So we're going to start out with our old pal, Amiga Bill. And if you don't know who Amiga Bill is, you need to know who Amiga Bill is. He's a fixture in the community. He's just an absolute solid gold icon in the community, and we love you, Bill. And so let's look at his car fog image first. We'll bring that up. And this is a really cool one right here. I love it. I love the fog effect in the distance there. And this is a Ham 6 image, I believe, and absolutely beautiful. Now our next one from our pal Bill is going to be one called Face, and I want to find out more information about this one because it's just astonishing. Just the detail, the emotion, the expression. I want to know where that statue is, and I love how it's all black and white, but yet he colorized the chains. It hits hard. It hits hard. You're fond of this one too, aren't you, Vicky? Mm-hmm.
I'm very fond of it indeed. Yeah, it's a very powerful, arresting image with a lot of strong commentary and so forth. And usually, as a rule of thumb, I'm not a big fan of like pop color sometimes, but I feel that actually when it's used well as it is here, it makes the image so much more than, you know, if it was just pure black and white. But yeah, it's just a very arresting image, and one that's it's not going to leave my memory for some time, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Artwork.
No, in fact, if anything, artwork should consistently try to challenge ourselves, not just conform to what we believe to be the right thing to conform to, but it should sometimes repulse us as well, because ultimately it's through that we create open understanding and dialogue. If we shut out certain aspects of the human condition in society, then, you know, that's only to the detriment. So no, we need all forms of expression in artwork, and to discuss them as adults and to react to them as adults, and that image certainly does that.
Right.
So yeah.
Yes. And speaking of hard-hitting images that are uncomfortable, I think this is called a flash drive or something like that. I seem to recall these, but I think he did a really cool job on this one too. What are these called again?
Well, my notes here. You've called this one floppy.
So another cool image from our friend Bill.
We're back to Elmo's sentence again. Sorry.
Hey now, this is a family show, young lady. I may edit that one out. I'm not going to edit out. I'm not going to edit it out. Nope. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, lovely image though, Bill. Sorry.
Okay. Our next one, moving right along, is from our friend Dan Welsh. And this is a beautiful picture. This was taken near the mouth of a river that feeds into Lake Superior, and it was modified in ImageFX, and it's really quite a lovely picture. Very, very muted and pastel-y colors that are really, really cool. And he says the fog coming in off the lake, and these are his words, are because it was freaking cold. That's exactly what he told me. It was freaking cold. So, great job, Dan, on this picture. Absolutely love it. Any thoughts on this one, Vicky? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to say that seeing that mist lift off the lake, very evocative. That was one of my favourite times, well, still is, because I still do some photography from time to time. Getting up early during the fall or autumn, and going to sort of somewhere, like 5 a.m. in the morning, waiting for the sun to rise, and just seeing the mist or the fog lift off of the pond or the lake and so forth is always just, and that image just captures it.
Absolutely.
So great job. Well done. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much, Dan.
This next series of photographic images done on the Amiga were done by some guy named Douglas Compton. And apparently he has some kind of YouTube channel. I think it's an Atari channel or something. But, yep, this one.
No idea. Sorry, Mark.
This one was an actual flower in my front yard, and this is 16 color, high res, 640 by 480. NTSC high res. And what I did on this one, in order to really, really crank the color up to 11, because it was already really colorful, I jacked up the contrast on it to a point where I wasn't losing any detail, but it really just wham, those colors just shot right out. And this isn't necessarily the kind of image I would normally say that I love or would put on my wall, but I just really like the level of detail that high res can get you, and I wanted to experiment what I could pull out of a 16 color high res image. And I like it. I think it's kind of a fun image. And
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really good to experiment with things. You know, we need to sometimes do things where we just play about, have fun with it, and see where it takes us. And that image really says that. So
this one is also an experiment. Okay, this was a very wide angle shot. I had a lake in the background and some mountains in the background, and this really cool piece of wood in the foreground. And I took Art Department Professional, and I didn't scale the image. I cropped down just so I could see this portion of the wood, and I converted it into ham 6 mode, so 4096 color. And I was just amazed with the level of detail you can get. This is 320 by 400, little more with overscan, but I loved the amount of detail and fine detail that we could even get out of such a low resolution mode in ham. And I just thought it was a fun picture, and again, an experiment. I like to experiment and see what I can do, and so this was a fun one to do.
Yes, all power to you for playing with ham mode. That's a good thing to experiment with.
And let's see, we're going to show you two more actually. This one is my Blushing Bride, Li Fen Zhou, and this is a 16 color high res image. And this was a full body shot that a friend of mine actually took while we were at a party. And I just thought it was just adorable. She had a qipao on, which is one of those traditional Chinese cute dresses. And she's got a jade bracelet on. But in 16 color, it really introduced a lot of banding. And I didn't do much dithering on it because I wanted to get a very, very stark and sharp effect. And again, this isn't necessarily something I'd put on my wall, even though she's a lovely lady. But I love to experiment and to see how you can use the Amiga to pull out certain kinds of detail that you wouldn't normally get in a truly, like a photographic quality image. So I liked it, and it catches her personality. Now, this one is my favorite that I did. This is the lovely and talented Deborah Harry from Blondie. And this is an homage to what Andy Warhol and she did back in 1985 on the release of the Amiga 1000, where he took a scanned image of Debbie and colorized her and nearly crashed the Amiga doing it. This also is in the same vein as one of her album covers from the 80s, where they just absolutely neon colored her hair, neon colored her lips, her eyes are colored too. This was a black and white image, completely black and white, and it was a full body shot. Again, I scaled down in AdPro just to grab her face, and I used Digipaint 3, which is a pretty old program, all things considered, and its colorization options to really just have fun and bring out some really crazy colors in Debbie. And I think it turned out really nice.
Yeah, it turned out great, Dub, yeah. And like you say, just using those luminous colours and so forth to sort of pay homage both to the Amiga launch in '85 and also the album cover. And yes, the lurid blonde hair and Blondie, of course. And yeah, just really nice work, Doug.
And yes, I've had a crush on Blondie since like 1979. Sue me. Just sue me. Okay, so that's from that Douglas guy. Now here's another guy whose name you might have heard of before. It's another one from Eric Schwartz, and it's the first time he's submitted in the photographic category. Let's see if that's the right one. This is his dog Duke, who apparently is from another planet and has absolutely awesome superpowers. And he just, you could tell he just had fun with this. He's like, all right, I'm going to do something cool. And he did. And I love it, Eric. Great job. Yep. And
yeah, this one definitely made me laugh, and I thought it wasn't what I expected from Eric at all, to be honest with you. But yeah, fantastic, really funny. So yes, yeah, I think if you saw that looming in the darkness of the night, you'd be pretty terrified. But yeah, great work, Eric.
Eric has a very distinct art style in all his work. He's got a very distinct and very recognizable style, and this is totally different from what we normally would expect from Eric. So that's it. It makes it kind of especially cool. Now, our good friend Gareth, who we've already seen some stuff from, has graced us with two really, really, really cool images. The first one is called Tintin Warhol. This one was taken with a Tintin toy that he had, and then modified in art department professional with some compositing tools to make a really, really cool Warhol-like, Andy Warhol-like effect on here. So this one's called Tintin Warhol, and I think this is a really cool image. This is one of my absolute favorites. Love Tintin Warhol. Let's move on to his second image here. I love this image right here, Vicky. This one is just incredible. He was in Africa, South Africa, and he took this picture in South Africa, and then reduced the colors in art department professional, did some creative dithering, and this one is called Music of Youth, and I think this could be an album cover without a doubt. Absolutely gorgeous album cover. What are your opinions on this particular image?
Oh, absolutely agree. Love this image. It really stood out to me, and totally agree that this would look at home on an album cover. You know, I can imagine a nice big sort of 12-inch LP with this as the cover. It's a very strong image. Yeah, it makes me think of I can't really lay my finger on what album cover it's reminding me of. It's the only one that seems to keep on popping into my mind is by Tommy Guerrero. He did. I'm trying to remember the name of the album, but maybe about 20 or so years ago. I mean, the album cover I've got in my head is quite different, but the colour palette, it just, something about it makes you think of that. But
absolutely beautiful.
Stunning image. Well done, Gareth. Really enjoyed looking at this.
All right, next up, we've got our old pal Gary Hart. And Gary had some fun with his camera and some pictures of his lovely pets. So let me call those up here. Just one second. Nice kitty. So you can tell he had some fun with these, and which is awesome. And we'll move on to the next one. So there's Felix, there's Lady, hi puppy, and Tigger, who is a trip. There you go, Tigger. So yes, he had fun with filters on his Amiga, and that's exactly what we should all be doing, is having fun with our Amigas. So fantastic job. Really appreciate your submissions, Gary. All right. Next one is Puny Void, who I believe he does some demo scene stuff, and he's quite a nice guy. There he is. Food for Goat is what this is called, and you will see why it's called Food for Goat. It was taken in Morgedal in Telemark, Norway, and this was done on a Morph OS machine. He edited it on a Morph OS machine, and it's apparently a Norwegian bus stop with a thatched grass roof. So cool. So, what do you think? That's kind of neat, huh? I'd wait for a bus there.
Oh, it actually reminds me of some of the bus stops, not because of the thatched roof, but just because it's such a unique bus stop. Where it is actually part of Miyako City where I live now, but originally the village of Kauai, which is quite relatively near here, used to be a separate municipality, and they have very, very quirky bus stops.
Cool.
So it reminds me of that. So yes, great work. Well done. Thank you.
Now, Rob Dugan was our winner last year in the photo category, and he's come back again with some absolutely cool images. The first one we're going to look at is called Action Girl. This was done on a next-gen Amiga, an X5000. It's a 16 color image, 16 color, and it's absolutely beautiful. He sent it to me. It was like, was it 3,000 by 2,000 pixels or 3,000 by 2,500 pixels? To display properly on the Amiga 1200, I reduced it down to 1280 by 1024, which is more or less the maximum resolution we can handle. But it's still 16 color, and wow, the level of detail, phenomenal. Really a good image.
Yeah, I was absolutely stunned by this image. I mean, the fact that it's 16 colours as well is just something that has boggled the minds, really. But yes, absolutely superb work by Rob here. So just everything about it just really stood out. Wonderful stuff.
The last image was MorphOS on a Macintosh. This one is a next-gen Amiga using OS 4.1. Anything Amiga. We don't care what kind of Amiga. They're all wonderful. His next image is called Flame. And kind of reminds me of my orange flower with the bright, wow, pop in your face neon colors. So is he going after a basketball? I'm not sure. But this is a really cool image. And he's really, really a creative artist. And I applaud him for his work. He does a great job.
Yeah, really, really, really interesting work from Rob. You know, just nice to see sort of stuff just completely out of left field that you just, you know, like. But that's the wonderful thing about these contests. It brings all these wonderful imaginations together through sort of a common use of the Amiga as a creative tool as part of the process. So, fab work.
Now this was actually a patron favorite, and it's one of my favorites too. This is from our good friend Royce Hunt. So, you know, if you say you don't like his stuff, he turns into that green Hulk guy, and you wouldn't like him when he's angry. But this one is a tree he found out in the forest that kind of freaked him out, and he used the Amiga to create it. If you can see, they're like sound waves emanating from this, and every single time I look at Death by Dawn, which is the name of this image, I can hear that tree, like a low rumble sound coming from that tree, just by looking at the image and the sound waves coming off. And I can see why this was a patron favorite. Great job, Royce.
Yeah, nice work, Royce. I must admit, the first time I saw it, I actually thought one of my selfies had accidentally leaked onto the internet. But, but yeah, fab work, Royce. You've done a really good job here, and the sound waves just really add to it. So yeah, thank you so much. Very creative.
And that's the end of the photo category. And being that all of my contributions were in the photo category, and being that Amiga Art Contest is my art contest, I just declare myself the winner of the entire photo category. I mean, do you have any complaints about that? I just win. I get the prizes. Yeah.
No, not at all. I think everybody will see that's a very legitimate,
absolutely
open, transparent process that has been entered into. And, I'll be going to the bank tomorrow with that check that you kind of
no voting fraud here. Well, so honestly, though, this was also really tough because there are so many absolutely incredible things that were done on the Amiga in the photo category. But somebody's got to win, so let's go ahead and bring up our second place winner as soon as I can get off my tail and bring it up. There we go. Second place is our good friend Gareth, who has created the absolutely beautiful Music of Youth. There we go. Incredible. Incredible. In my opinion, either of his photos could have easily been a winner. I think they're just that good. But second place, Music of Youth. This thing's fantastic. And this was actually Daniel, my son, maybe I mentioned it. This was his favorite image of the entire show. He absolutely was floored by this one. He loved it. So good job. You've got a choice of either ImageFX or Personal Paint from our good friends at A-Eon. It'll be a digital one that they'll send you the code for. So we'll work that out in the next week or so. And now let's talk about our first place winner. And the winner is Remember, I'm still dealing with an Amiga here, clicking through here, so this is why sometimes it takes a second. And the winner is
That's fair enough. We'll let
Amiga
it
Bill,
sing.
our good friend Bill Winters. He absolutely deserves it with Face. This is an incredible image, and this just really hit home for me. We talked a lot about this one already. So I'm figuring what he's going to do, Vicky, is he's going to take both of his Emmys that he's won. He's just going to take those off the shelf, put them in storage, and he'll put up a certificate saying,
Yeah.
I won first place in Doug and Vicky's Amiga Art Contest. I mean, who needs the Emmys when you've got the Amiga Art Contest, right?
No, but exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, precisely. I'm going to go down Lawson after this and photocopy a certificate, and
Yep.
I'll just stuff it in a
Sure.
a jiffy bag. Just,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you? I mean, I'll just get rid of the Emmys. Go down the pawn shop, worth nothing compared. No.
But I do hope he enjoys his $50 gift certificate from RetroRewind.ca, our good friend Frank in Canada. Or as my good friend Aaron Dowdy says, Canada. I love it when he says that. So we're heading in.
As long as it's not
No, not
Canadian.
Canada. We're heading into the home stretch here, and we're going to be entering into the hand-drawn category, which has always been our most popular and category that gets the most love, really. And speaking of the most love, our first entrant into the hand-drawn category is our very own Amiga Love, also known as Eric. Let's bring up his images here, and I think you will enjoy them. He did this one by hand. Now Eric very specifically creates his images for display on CRT monitors. So these actually do look better on a nice 1084 monitor, but I've got some 1702s and an 1802 back there. My 1084 is put away right now, but I can't get those to display very well on YouTube, so they are absolutely beautiful images, and he works his tail off to get that cool kind of metallic chromy effect on a lot of the stuff he does, and he does a good job of it. His next one, Heavy Metal, you see it's a very similar theme with kind of the metallic theme and the beautiful colored theme, and again, incredible. I've actually used these images on a couple of promos for the show already because I like them so much. So Eric, as always, you do a great job. Hope you're feeling better, buddy, after your surgery. Any opinion on those, Vicky?
Yeah, I just really love what Eric does with these images. I mean, the one that's on the screen at the moment, the Heavy Metal one, the use of that logo, well, both logos actually, and just how well they've been recreated with the sort of original sort of Amiga Corporation logo from 83, 84 or so, and just really fantastic work. And I hope one day that I can see this on a CRT of some description myself, because I'm sure it really pops. So super. I didn't realise that you've had some form, so get well soon, buddy.
Back surgery. Eric very specifically forces himself to learn more about Deluxe Paint. With every one of these contests, he tells me that he learns more and more and more about the software with every contest and learns more features. So that's just awesome. Nice job, Eric. Our next entrant...
Yeah, that's just natural.
Yeah. Our next entrant is Carlo Biodini, and these were entered into Flash Party in Argentina in 2020 and 2021. And then we've got one... and I clicked the wrong button, but this one is called 2016 Knocking, and I just think this is cool. I just think this is a fun image. I mean, that dude, I wouldn't want to cross him in a dark alley until I saw he had I Love Commodore Amiga on his fist, and then I'd be like, yo, bud, what's up? So I enjoyed this one. Let me get out of there. And the other one is a sexy Amiga vampire, because who doesn't like a sexy Amiga vampire? Seriously, especially one who's about to eat a bowling ball. Really cool. And I think these got a second and third place at the Flash Party in Argentina. And he says these are a homage to his two of his favorite artists who passed away a couple years ago, David Bowie and Bud Spencer. And so, yeah, I agree. Both great guys. So, beautiful images. Beautiful images.
Yeah, really great work there. Thank you, Carlo. It's just really nice to see such wonderful pixel art coming out and so forth. So yeah, you've done some smashing work there. So yeah, top stuff.
Our next entry is one that Chris Earl did several years back on his Amiga. And in his own words, again, these are his own words, he says, this thing's a 0 out of 10. And I do not agree with him because I think it's pretty darn cool. I think if, you know, back in the day, if I drew that in Deluxe Paint on my Amiga, I'd be pretty darn proud of that. I think it's a cool image. So, yes, I'm glad he was able to share it, even though he doesn't think it's his best work. I think he did a fantastic job, personally. And it's called Lockbot.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, you should not be rating that as a 0 out of 10. That's just, you know, really good creative work, and just keep going. Don't worry about its overall value. Just if you're having fun doing it, everything else will follow. So great work.
Absolutely. Now, this next one, good old friend Eric Schwartz, and you guys know what I mean now when I say you can recognize an Eric Schwartz picture when you see it. It's just got his feelings all over it. This is a cool Amiga Sunrise. That's probably an Amiga, maybe that's a 3000 there. Beautiful job, Eric. Absolutely love the dithered sunrise. Absolutely gorgeous. His next one is apparently, I believe he said it's a project that he's working on. A Sabrina Online project, some kind of book or magazine he's coming out with a bunch of Sabrina Online stuff, and this is the cover of it. And if so, I'm buying that thing because Sabrina's cool, and I absolutely love his Sabrina Online comic that he used to write. Really fun stuff. Incredible quality, too. Now, he did most of this on his, I think he did this on his Amiga 4000. He's got a 4000T with an 060 in it. So, good stuff, Eric Schwartz. Any opinion on those?
Well, as you know, I've said already, you know, Eric was a big influence on my Amiga artwork and so forth in my younger days, and you know, it's just wonderful that you know, he's still contributing and also inspiring me. So, and many others obviously as well. So, yeah, fantastic work, Eric, and yeah, always a pleasure to see your work. Thank you.
Now, this next one are from my friends at Citizen, CITYXEN. Now, if you don't subscribe to the Citizen channel, then you don't know about their sentient computers, giant eagles, robots, dude in a helmet, and more. Oh, and their Commodore 64 smoker for smoking meat that's run by a Commodore 64. If you want to learn more about all that crazy stuff, subscribe to Citizen. They're the coolest guys in the world, friendliest guys in the world, and they have a very underrated YouTube channel that needs your subscriptions. They are just hilarious. So great job on this picture as always, and subscribe to Citizen.
Yeah, this is a very interesting image indeed, and I'm sure that some of those things, the Commodore 64 meat smoker, I've had some funny ideas in my time, but that one's well up there. So yeah, thanks as always, Citizen. Great.
Okay. Whoop, nope, I clicked the wrong button. There we go. These next images were done by Gideon Tebbett, and he was in the Halloween spirit when he created these. This first one is called Amiga Geist, and if you're a film buff, you will recognize this immediately. This is Poltergeist, but instead of the TV screen the girl is going to go into, it's an Amiga screen, which she's got good taste if she's going into being possessed by an Amiga screen. So, absolutely fantastic image. These were done in personal paint, and they're copied from movie posters and then heavily, heavily modified. So, great job on that one. His next one is... This is great. This is great. the Amiga 1.3 workbench image for Halloween. the insert the disc. Absolutely classic and awesome. And here's the cool thing about it. He posted this on Facebook, and Cheryl Knowles, the lady who created the original Kickstart logo for the Amiga 1000, gave it a thumbs up on Facebook. She liked the image. So I thought that was really clever. Yeah. And then lastly, we Markins don't know much about this, but this is apparently from Red Dwarf. And this is a video game that he kind of imagined as in his head based on Red Dwarf, I believe. And it's actually a really cool image, and I'd certainly play it. It's kind of in the style of, oh heavens, why am I forgetting the name of the game that this is in the style of, with the dude in the city in the future and his helicopter crashes and he's got a robot for... Yeah, Beneath the Steel Sky. That's the one. I knew you'd figure that out. But it reminds me of that kind of game. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it put me in mind of as well, actually. Not just Beneath the Steel Sky, but all of those point-and-click games. Obviously, we had Monkey Island earlier on. Just, yeah. I mean, I watched a couple of episodes of Red Dwarf, but again, probably didn't really get into it that much at the time. Maybe I should give it another shot. You know, just seeing a still image like that, you just think, that used to be a game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, this one is from JJGB, but I don't know his real name. And I think you'll probably recognize it because I've used it a bunch of times on this show. And the winner is, and I just couldn't help but use this for every winner, having this picture there. So thank you for that. It's an awesome picture, and I loved being able to use it. But his next one is really, really cool too. This is taken from some type of poster, and then he Amigatized it and completely redid it. He showed me the original poster it came from, and it was totally different, but similar to this. And I think this is a cool image. And this is the image I put on this morning on YouTube when I was talking about the live stream dying and having to do this offline. This is the image I used of the live stream dying. So love it. Fantastic images. Any thoughts on these?
Yeah, just really great. Yeah, just wonderful work. I mean, I love this one. I mean, I can imagine this being a really cool graphic on a poster and so forth. So hearing that it actually came from or was inspired by a poster design to start with makes a lot of sense. So, but actually, I think it would look pretty wicked as sort of like a design skateboards there on the deck. So, yeah. So I think that would look wicked. So,
it certainly
but anyway,
would.
yeah. So,
yeah. No, I'll have to send you the original image that he sent me so you can see where it came from. But yeah, it's really cool. Now here's Jonas Jungdahl. I think the L is probably silent. Now this is cool. I like Jonas's, and let me tell you a story about it. He got back into the Amiga in 2019 when he found a mint condition Amiga 500 and decided to try his hand in deluxe paint, and then decided to enter it into the contest. So literally he hadn't touched an Amiga in a decade or two. He found an Amiga, saw the contest, and thought, I'm going to try my hand at this. So he did, and this is what he came up with, a cool little Sonic. I mean, obviously it's no Zool like we have, but Sonic is still really awesome, and he did a cool job considering he hadn't touched an Amiga in a decade or two. Really a cool, fun image done in deluxe paint. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, really great work. I'll reserve my comments, but yeah, it's really great to hear the story behind that. So yeah, fantastic.
Now, here's our not safe for work images here, but actually incredibly high quality. My good pal Joshua Dolan, he came up with this one called Amiga Girl. he was influenced by the Amiga Disrupt Facebook group, which is a cool Facebook group. I'm part of it. And but they sometimes put on a little bit more of the risque stuff. You know, they're not too worried about it. And so he created this kind of in honor of that. And I think it's really cool because it is very, very Amiga centric and also really cute too.
Yeah, I really like this image of Joshua's. It's really, really. I mean, obviously, I love my manga and anime, so obviously it was bound to stand out to me. But yeah, I think there's, you know, as I said earlier on, you know, we shouldn't be censoring any form of artwork. You know, there'll be some things that are not to our taste. Well, just don't look at it, and you know, it's that simple. But yeah, Joshua's created a stunning bit of artwork there. So top
and
stuff.
then he also created this lovely piece of artwork, 1984 MK2, which is apparently one of his favorite cars, and really, really nice. I really like this. Is a very, very Amiga looking image, and you could see this as like the intro screen to a car racing game or something like that. You could easily see it as that. So fantastic job. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, this image reminded me of one that I've been working on with regards to my mum. Obviously, a Toyota Supra there. I mean, obviously, there's a Mitsubishi Starion there, another 1980s Japanese performance car. So, yeah, really great work, Joshua. And I absolutely love the moon setting in the background, like giving it real sort of retro wave, synthwave vibe.
Very,
so,
very
top
80s
work.
Miami Vice looking type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It needs some Tropics theme or something like that playing when you're looking at that image, I think.
Yep. Now, this next one, this has a great, great story behind it. Now, we'd mentioned Amiga Bill before, and Bill has a Twitch channel that's very popular. He does a weekly Amiga show where he reviews things, plays games, interviews people, things like that. Both you and I have been on Bill's show. He has someone on his show all the time in the chat named Captain John Archer, and everybody knows Captain John Archer. He's a great guy. Well, Captain John Archer and his 12-year-old son were watching Amiga Bill when yours truly was on the channel a month and a half ago talking about the Amiga Art Contest, and his 12-year-old son Julian said, "Hey Dad, I want to try it. I want to join the contest." So he pulls out it's a Pi 400 with his emulated Amy Berry on there. And Julian, 12 years old, got to work. First time he's ever created any pixel art. And he came up with a really, really cool image. I think that this is just so much fun. Look at the UFO, the gradient on the windshield of the UFO is so cool. And lemmings, I mean, it's an Amiga, you gotta have your lemmings. And the dude with the gun reminds me of the game Hero, of which there's an Amiga version coming out for it, but it's an old Atari 2600 game and a Commodore 64 game called Hero. And I just think for his first effort, this is what it's all about. Wow, an Amiga can do that? Let me try. Love it. What's your opinion of that, Vicky?
Yeah, I just need to echo those sentiments. First of all, fantastic work, well done. You know, that's really, really good going. You know, sort of being inspired by what you saw on Amiga Build stream, but absolutely underscore that, you know, it's so important that new people of all ages come into the scene and so forth, use the Amiga as part of their creative arsenal, shall we say, and just have fun using it, because we need to bring new people into the scene, you know, to make sure that it stays alive and so forth. Nobody should be walling it off, saying that if you didn't have an Amiga in 1987, you're not an Amiga fan. I mean, that's just all rubbish. So, you know, basically, if literally the first time you switch on an Amiga is today, and you're 8 years old, or you're 37 years old, or 56 years old, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Come along, let's contribute some amazing creations to the whole scene.
Amiga forever.
Yes, fantastic work. Well done.
He did this in Perfect Paint 2.93, and I think we've got a couple other little images of him working on it, which are kind of cool. Let's see.
Oh, that's cute.
Let's see this next one. Yep, there's him working on it on the Amiga, on the virtual Amiga.
Oh,
And then we got a picture actually of
yeah.
him. Let's get that up
Ah,
there. Hard at work creating it. Isn't that cool? You know, why didn't
yeah.
my
懐かしい
why didn't
よ.
my son Daniel do something for the art contest? Come to think of it, I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. So cool, nice job, Julian.
Yeah, I think we need to dock his.
Yep. And
Yeah, fantastic work. That brings back a lot of good memories. So.
now, our good friend Kevin Saunders. Now, Kevin does the artwork for 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast. He does the all of the artwork for the Amiga Art Contest, and he does that all out of the goodness of his heart because he's such a great guy. And he's also an incredible artist. He's done some fantastic games. You'll find the links to him in the description. But take a look at what he did here. This one is called Flower Planet, and this one just really draws me in. Now, almost like one of those acid trip pictures from maybe the late 60s or something is what it reminds me of. But the colors, the patterns, the themes, just this image just knocks my socks off. And the patrons absolutely love this one too. This was one of their favorites for the patrons. Any opinion on this one, Vicky?
Yeah, I just love Kev's art style as well. Well worth following. I think he's got a couple of Instagram accounts actually. One which is for his, I use inverted commas here, traditional artwork, and one which is more geared towards his digital or Amiga artwork. So do check him out on there. But yeah, I just love this image. The colour just pops. It's just, he has got such a distinctive art style, I feel. And yeah, Kev is just a real master. Brilliance as well.
Yes.
Fantastic Amiga paint application, which I don't use so much myself, but he just always just pulls out all the stops with it. So top work.
He's really good in brilliance. Yeah, he's really good in that. So nice job. Now our next gentleman is Lucas Remus. He created these next two images, and let's pull up the first one here. Lucas, and this is a 64 color extra half bright image. And does this android feel guilt after wiping out the human race? Is that what we see on his face? Because I see emotion, I see feelings, I see just really, really deep thought in here. And this image just draws me in. This one just, I've looked at it probably 50 or 60 times, and every time I look at it, I'm like, wow, that is an incredible image. Extra half bright mode, 64 color.
Yeah, just absolutely breathtaking image. I mean, as you say, the emotional context of it all is what really pushes us up a whole nother level kind of thing. But yeah, to use the Amiga's extra half bright mode is definitely a really stunning use of it. And just think about it, I just think, wow, there is such talent out there. So yeah, really stood out this
and
image.
it's got a Commodore logo on it, so it's actually a Commodore robotic overlord. So here we've got an image of a
maybe that's what Commodore looks like.
here we have an image of a Spitfire, which is actually really beautiful. This one he put up on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and is an absolutely stunning, I believe this one is a 256 color image, if I'm correct. Absolutely fantastic. I love the Spitfire one too. And this one was a fan favorite, or a patron favorite. They really enjoyed this one. Now,
yeah, that's just an amazing image. I have a feeling that one was 16 colours. I might be wrong myself, but I have a feeling it was 16 colours. But yeah, amazing artwork. Yeah, amazing artwork.
Mike Mijatov, he was our winner in the hand-drawn category in 2019. He was one of our first winners, and he's an all-around great guy. You may know him as Level Lord on the boards, and he created this image that I personally really love. I love the colors. Maybe it's a whole orange thing, Maybe because I live in Tucson, I miss the fall because we really don't have it here. But I think this is really great. And he did this on a next-gen Amiga, an X5000. So, absolutely stunning image in my opinion.
Yeah, really, really beautiful stuff. And yeah, I mean, pretty much where I live in Japan, on the coast here in Miyako, fall is just about clinging on, but it's pretty much over once I head more inland into the mountains and stuff. So, yeah, very evocative image, superb work. Really enjoyed looking at this one.
Next up, we have our good friend Mixel, and apparently his parents call him Michael Dawes, but I don't believe that's his name. I think his name's actually Mixel. And we've got a couple of them here. And they are Halloween themed, since the live stream was probably supposed to happen before Halloween, but we all ran out of time. This one's really cool. I really like this image here. I like it because it uses so few colors. I mean, there's just, you know, you could probably do this in an 8 color, maybe a 16 color image, and it's just really, really neat. I really like this one. And it's called Haunting. Next one is Hex Knight. Now he's creating a new game. A lot of people have seen the previews for it. There's a demo available for it called it's called Hex Knight Creeping Me Out, which will ship sometime between now and 2045. That's the release window. It looks incredible. It's done in the Scorpion engine, and you can punch fish in this game. It's so cool. There's bouncing skulls, and it is a beautiful game. If you've not checked out Creeping Me Out, check out Mixel's YouTube channel. He's got some videos on there, and it is going to be a rock solid game. And if that chick on this image is not Velma from Scooby-Doo, she's not anybody. She's just Velma wearing a different outfit. But I like her. Next one, Sexy Witch. We got sexy vampires. We need a sexy witch. It's harder to find a sexy zombie, but I'd go for that too. But another cool image with great dithering and great use of color, great use of the Amiga's palette on here. So what do you think? Mixel does a pretty darn good job, huh?
He does more than a darn good job. I think you've got to be careful how careful you say sexy witch, just in case. But
okay.
But yeah, Mixel's got such a distinctive art style. I just love it. It's quite his style is quite unique in many respects on the Amiga, and I think that is a really good thing actually as well. So yeah, I think it's always good as an artist to experiment with different styles and so forth, but whenever you see an image, Mixel stuff always stands out because you think, yeah, that's his style. A bit like Eric Schwartz. You'll go, I know instantly who created that. So top work as always.
Absolutely. Mixel. Now, this is our good friend Monty Brunette, who did those cool images of the dome houses. And he actually sent in 28 hand-drawn images, but I think we will limit ourselves to just a few because we'll probably want to get some sleep eventually. So let me just get a couple of them up here. Here's the first one. This one was apparently from some kind of game or something he was working on. This one's called Columbus, but it's kind of a cool image. And then we'll bring up robot heads. I like this one. I think this is a really creative one. It's got kind of a 3D type feel to it, but it's definitely a hand-drawn image. I think he had a fun time with the angle tools there. But the shading's really cool on robot head. And then sailboat. Oh, house is a good one. Yeah, I like how what he did on this one too. Again, this one he said was hand drawn, so he's got a good eye and a good way of laying things out to make things look apparently 3D. So fun stuff, Monty. Excellent work. And I've got some more of his work up on the website too, if you guys want to look at a little bit more of his. I haven't put all 28 of his up though. So then we've got, oh my goodness, MOP of Alcatraz. Last year he did the Joker picture. This one that I have printed out. You guys recognize that? One of my favorite pictures of any art contest that I've ever had. Just absolutely loved it. He's come back with some cool new stuff. Let's take a look at this. And quite different too. So this first one is called Bone Air, which is really, really awesome. The amount of detail in that skull is just phenomenal. The fact that he hand drew it, hand dithered it, just absolutely phenomenal. So quite impressed with his Terminator looking Bone Air. But this one, lovely, absolutely lovely. The fact that it looks like it could easily be a photograph, actually more like a photograph that you've put through like an Instagram filter or something. But the detail that he came up with on this is just brilliant, and I'm really, really impressed with his work. What's your opinion on that, Vicky?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you say, his image of the Joker last year was such a strong image, but he's really come back. Just two stunning images. After the bone air image, the detail, as you say, just go and have a look at the website, and then to follow it up with this really stunning portrait. You know, it's just, my mind boggles how you even begin with creating something like that. So, you know, hats off, stunning work. So yes, really, really wonderful stuff.
That's like watching JoJo073. He didn't contribute anything this year. He said he ran out of time, but I don't think that's it. But watching him create his pixel art, he's got a YouTube channel where he creates his pixel art in Amiga, and you can see dot by dot every little bit of dithering that he's hand dithering. I'm like, I'm so confused just watching it, trying to figure out how to dither like that. But these people who can do this kind of work, really, really, really impressive. Now,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the really interesting thing about the final image there is because it's predominantly brighter tones and all the rest, it makes the dithering just that much more harder because you have to differentiate between such subtle tones and get the blending. So yeah, it's a real skill, there's no doubt about it. So
now our next contributor, she claims her name is Moya Jackie, but I don't believe it. I think her real name is Amiga Cami, because that's what we all know her as. She's Amiga Cami. She's not Moya Jackie. So, but Moya, she's such an awesome person. What a wonderful human being she is. She put out a YouTube video the other day of just walking through the area around her home. She's like down Australia way, like around where Kevin Saunders lives. Maybe New Zealand, as a matter of fact. But just walking through the bush there and going on trails, it was so cool. So check out her YouTube channel. She does some great stuff. This one from Amiga Cami is called Brachiosaurus Sunrise. Now, I knew there were some crazy animals down there, platypus, things like that in Australia, but I didn't realize they had Brachiosaurus still. She actually did this. She had a toy Brachiosaurus, a little toy doll that she held up to the window and kind of used that to kind of trace on the Amiga to get the image right and the shading right. So that was really, really cool how she used an actual Brachiosaurus toy as a model. And the colors, wow, those are just fantastic. Just absolutely beautiful. So lovely. Ham 6 in Brilliance, using Brilliance. So good job, Moya. I'm sorry, Amiga Cami.
yeah, and just to echo that, it is brilliance in itself. So yeah, really great work, Moya Cami. You know, you've really done something so creative there, and yes, that sunset really does evoke the Southern Hemisphere. So top work. Thank you so much for it. So.
Yep, good job. This next one is from somebody called Vixie Picklewicken, I think. It's called Saki. Yeah, I think that was right. This is one of yours, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so well, it's no surprise again, but actually, this started off, again, this is me using mixed media. This started off as a hand-drawn image, which I don't have to hand at the minute, but which was then scanned in, and then I actually digitally shaded this one. I didn't use Copic markers, and so I created basically the launch poster for my manga, Future Saviours. So this is basically a Photoshop image, you know, with all the other bells and whistles around it. But then I took that same hand-drawn outline and took it into Dulux Paint, and then recreated a portion of that image as pixel art. So the outline itself was hand drawn, but all of the anti-aliasing and shading and stuff is done in Dulux Paint. So yeah, I just wanted to create a really poppy, vibrant image, and this might be tedious detail, but the cap that Saki is wearing, I went to a second-hand store. It's called a Chuko here in Japan, in Morioka, which is my nearest biggish sized city, and in the sort of clothing section they had this really wicked baseball cap, and I just thought, yeah, it was really rare photos of it with my phone, and then ended up basically putting Saki's head in that drawing. But then a few days went by, and I thought I really should have bought that cap. It was about 2,000 yen, which I thought, I don't know that guy there, which a bit expensive, but I thought I should have bought it. So I went back the following week, it had gone, and I was just like, oh no, that's, you know, that's really not good. So and zanen desu ne, not good. And so I really regretted it. And then I went back about another 2 weeks later, and I just thought, well, I will look at the cap, see if there's something else, and it was there. Sweet. So I immediately snapped it up. So I actually do own the cap that Saki is wearing there. So, and I don't actually own that Walkman, but close to it, so it's not modelled after the one that I actually use, but yeah, I just wanted her to be using something else. So yeah, she's wicked. She's a lot of fun to draw. So yeah, anyway, that's it.
What does that device use? I'd use flash drives, SD cards. That strange device in your hand there.
Well, yes, it does use flash drives of a sort. The recording capacity on them is about 90 minutes. Yes, pretty reliable actually, all things considered. Yeah, I'd highly recommend them. And amazingly, in Japan, you can go into Yamada Denki or Case Denki and still buy 5 of these magnificent flash drives for about 1,000 yen. So
cool.
Yeah, top stuff.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, now last year's Best of Show winner was Roar Chorum, whose name I always butcher, but I dare any of you to come up with a cooler name than Roar Chorum. I mean, Amiga Cami is close. Tenmark, that's not even in the same ballpark. But if your name is Roar Chorum, you know you got to be a cool guy. So Roar this year came up with a couple of cool images for us, and let me just bring those right up to the front on the old Amiga. This one is called Amiga Matrix, and I think we all know who she is from The Matrix, of which they're coming out with a new movie and very quickly. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But this is just a cool image. Now, why she would ever shoot at somebody who's throwing boing balls at her, I don't know why. Maybe it's the Amiga juggler throwing the boing balls. But awesome image. This next one, just wow. Just wow. 16 color image. Just grayscale. Just wow. This is like a couple of years ago when Bill put in the picture of Mike Tyson, that 16 color Mike Tyson image, and it's just like, wow, all of that emotion just in the 16 grayscale image. But this is a hand-drawn one, and apparently I believe the story is he originally did it from a photograph on his iPad, and then he redid it on his Amiga, and he sent me the step-by-step of him creating it on the Amiga. And what can you say about this one, Vicky?
Well, words fail me, to be honest with you. I mean, Roar is just a talent unto himself kind of thing. It's just, yeah, the whole mood of this image is just stunning. It really just captivates you. I mean, to say that you can imagine this in an Amiga demo, which you absolutely could, but I just feel that actually this stands alone as a piece of art. It's another incredible submission by Rules. So yeah, top work, well done, dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Our next person is Rod March, who I really love his art style because they remind me of pencil drawings, and I think they're some of the coolest images. I loved his stuff from last year, and they're all pencil drawing looking images, and they're just so cool. And I just know that he's got a story behind every character. Everyone's got a name, everyone's got a history, everyone's got a backstory, including that cool beast that she's riding on. And you can just tell by the amount of work and that he puts into it. And you can see what looks like, I'm pointing at my screen here. There, the pencil drawing marks. It looks like he's drawing in pencil there, but it's all just pixel stuff. And here's another one. This one is called RM Roller. The first one is RM Rider. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Kind of a science fiction-y. As a matter of fact, this reminds me of a particular science fiction art style from the late 70s or early 80s. Maybe some of the stuff, was it Ralph Bakshi who did some kind of almost melty science fiction-y stuff like that? But really cool images. Always loved his stuff. Any opinions on that one?
Yeah, I just really like this stuff as well from Rob because it's a very distinctive style. Makes you think of charcoal pictures.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
forth. And that I think actually seeing that is really refreshing. So the first image I just that was my favourite of the two of which he submitted. But yeah, I just love looking at this work. It's nice to get that hand-drawn aesthetic into the artwork and so forth because sort of I might do it in a slightly different way, but to see how somebody else approaches that is just fascinating. So top stuff, Rod.
And you think about an image like this. This is done on the same computer, the same kind of computer that Kevin Saunders used on his, and that Bill used on his, that Vicky uses on hers. But everybody has a different style, and they look totally different. Just absolutely 100% different. You glance at this, and you wouldn't think, this is the same computer that Kevin Saunders used. Sure enough, it is. It's just incredible what our machines can do. Just incredible, the variety. So, good job.
Yes.
And then, our good old pal, Royce Hunt. He submitted into almost every category. This is the guy that comes and checks your electric every month in the UK to check your electric and bill you. This is the one that comes to his house. He's resubmitted this one like 11 times to me because he said he does them at work, probably when he's supposed to be working, but he like boots up like WinUAE on the machine at work, and he's got to dim the monitor so nobody can see, and he'll work on these at work, and then he'll take them home and he'll look at them on his like real machine. He's like, no, the colors aren't right, and he'll redo it. And the last one he resubmitted, he's like, Doug, I noticed my guy had 6 fingers instead of 5. I have to take a finger off. So he resubmitted it with a -1 finger. Love it. Love Royce's work. He's a great guy. Your opinions on the Electric Man here?
Well, I think if the bloke from Seaboard turned up looking like that back in the day to read the meter, I don't know what I'd have done. So, but just a really, really creative use of the Amiga, and just a very original piece of artwork, and I mean that in a really good way as well. And obviously, there have been times where I've been drawing and I look down, I think, yep, she's got 6 fingers and a thumb. How's that? So, we all get carried away. But top stuff, Royce. Well done. Yeah. Great work.
Now, part of me wants to know what's dripping off from under his arm there, and part of me does not want to know what's dripping from under his arm there. So I may just leave that one alone.
I think, let's just move on from that one. So, I think we've had enough of Elmo's sex whistle and so forth today. So. Okay. Maybe his name is Elmo. I don't know. Hello, my name is Elmo. I'm from Seaboard. I'm here to read your meter.
Okay, our last two are from Sasha Brent, who I also think there's probably stories behind here. I think these are probably characters, maybe in some stories Sasha's involved in writing with, but it's really, really, really cool images. I love this one. Done on a Linux machine, running FSUAE, running Amiga OS 3.9. And what's really cool is you compare this picture with the next picture. This is so highly detailed, high resolution, high color. And then you go on to the next picture, and it's more of a 320 by 256 lower color image, but yet both of them are really cool. Both have their own level of personality, their own level of charm, because you don't always want hyper ultra realistic. Sometimes you want that pixelated, that video game looking image, and I think the contrast between the two of them is really, really kind of neat.
Yeah, absolutely agreed, Doug. But sometimes actually the thing to do with something like pixel art, for example, is to really embrace its qualities, which is that it is pixelated, and so by using simple flat colours and so forth can create very iconic looking images. So yeah, absolutely agreed that photorealism is not the only objective of pixel art, or indeed high resolution. It can actually be about embracing its low resolution qualities and using it to its strength. So yeah, really great work by Sasha here.
Sasha.
Sasha. So awesome work. So yes.
So that actually was our last contributor to Amiga Art Contest in the hand-drawn category. And I'll tell you what, we had some serious talent in this category. Just like knock your socks off talent, if you ask me. Every year, I wouldn't say necessarily that it gets better because we have awesome contributors every year, but there's more incredible work every year. Just, I love it. I love that people use this as a way to express themselves and improve themselves every year. Fantastic. But we've got to choose some winners here. And in the hand-drawn category, the winner of the second place prize, which is the copy of ImageFX or Personal Paint from our friends at A-Eon, is Roar with Anxiety. Absolutely well-deserved, incredible, fantastic, knock your socks off image. So without a doubt, absolutely well-deserved.
Well done, Roar. Awesome.
Yep. And moving right along to our first place winner. Now, this was also very tough, and the patrons had a lot to do with this on their votes, and then Vicky and I tossed a few things back and forth. But in the end, there can be only one, as they said in Highlander. And let's take a look and see who our first place winner is. And it's Kevin Saunders with Flower Planet. This one, I've already printed out a picture of this. I just have to frame it. Absolutely love it. It'll be framed just like my Pixel Vixen picture up there is framed. See that on top of my air conditioner?
Oh yeah, Lamont.
Yeah. I've actually got 2 of your pictures printed out. So that one no, 3 of them. Two of them I bought from.
3.
Let's see. I think 2 of them I bought from you, and 1 of them you gave me permission to print out. So, love it. Yep.
You're welcome, Doug.
So, congratulations, Kevin. You did a fantastic job. You well deserve the $50 gift card from Retro Rewind. Now, if I had an A-Eon shirt or an Amiga Kit shirt, I'd like wear that. Although maybe an A-Eon hat and a Amiga Kit ascot, one of those ascots like Fred from Scooby-Doo wears, then I could represent all 3 of the sponsors in one beautiful outfit.
Yeah, I was going to say changing T-shirts midstream could be
yes,
different.
We attract the wrong kind of crowd there.
What was the name of that Amiga Facebook group?
Amiga Disrupt. Yes, they'd put that picture up there. Yeah. So. Everyone did such a fantastic job, and
Mm.
I am not kidding when I say the most difficult part is the judging part, because
Yes.
it's not like we're saying the first place winner is the only one we like. We're saying, my goodness, we have this pile of absolute pure solid gold, and we have to somehow decide which piece of solid gold. It's so hard.
Yeah.
I've had
It's so.
I've had these images going back to June, and then I get them. I got them up until October 11th at like 10 p.m. is when I got my last one in. So I've spent like the last month going over these, looking at them 3, 4, 5 times a week, and just going, wow, what can I do? How can you judge something like this? And I'm so thankful that our patrons contribute, because that really, really helps, because Vicky and I will be like, well, I like this one, and she's like, oh, I like this one. And so then we look at what the patrons judge, and they're well, the patrons went with this one, so there we go. It's wonderful, and I love that they help. So, but are we done yet? Are we finished with the art contest? No. We've got our all-around #1 best of show winner. Now, please excuse me while I pull up one of my pictures, because obviously one of mine's got to win best of show. I mean, hands down.
Well, I've paid enough to make sure that happens.
Absolutely. Yay, I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Yay!
Best of show. This again also was a challenge, because it could have been in any one of the categories: mod, 3D, photo, hand-drawn, anything. It could have been in any of them. But we decided, with the valuable help of our patrons, that the best of show winner is Lucas with his Android picture. It has nothing to do with the fact that I am bowing to our new Android overlords and want to be in their good graces, but this is genuinely one of the finest images I've seen created on an Amiga in a really, really long time. And I've seen a lot of really good images, but this one, Lucas just did such a great job, and absolutely deserves best of show. And what are the prizes for best of show? Well, we've got from Amiga Kit, our good friends at Amiga Kit, the really cool 8 megabyte expansion card with flash ROM, which means you can flash up to like 5 or 6 ROMs. You can do a 1.3, a 2.1, 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. You flash them all right on here, and you just choose it at boot up which ROM you want to choose or to boot with. It's really cool, and I did a review on it a couple months back. That's for the Amiga 1200. Are we done there? No. We've also got from A-Eon a copy of either Personal Paint or ImageFX for our best of show winner, and a copy of Amiga OS 3.2 donated by our good friend Kevin Saunders. He wanted to contribute more to the show. Thank you, Invent71, for that contribution of the prize, and that's going to be going to our lucky winner, Lucas Remus. I hope you have an Amiga 1200. Great job. Great job. So, huge thanks to everybody who contributed. Everybody did a fantastic job. I love it. Doesn't matter if it was your first drawing that you've done in 20 years or you're a professional artist. We love to see it all. We just love to see the art and what you guys can do. Huge thanks to our vendors, Amiga Kit, absolutely wonderful people. Shop with them. And Amiga Kit has recently hired on a new employee, which is just fantastic. So I think we're going to find their level of service to go above and beyond what it has been before, because they're growing so much. So that's fantastic. Congrats on the new employee. Our good friend Frank from Retro Rewind for the gift certificates for our first place winners. I've been shopping with Frank for about 6 months now. Love it. He's fixed my Amiga 600. He recapped it. He sold me ROMs for my 3.2 Amiga OS. I've gotten other parts from him. Fast, honest, reasonable prices. And there's some cool discount codes out there too. You can just look at like a Pixel Guidance channel or Amigos channel, and they've got some cool discount codes too. And thank you to A-Eon for the contribution of the ImageFX or Personal Paint program for our second place prize winners. And huge thanks to this young lady right down there, Vicky, Miss Pixel Vixen. I always appreciate your assistance, because me just talking to a camera for 3 hours would get really old. So I love the back and forth that you and I have, and I value your input and I value your friendship. So thank you very much. And
you're very welcome.
I do have to thank Daniel, who tried to help with the live stream, but we don't want to talk about the live stream. Now,
that didn't.
Now, one last thing before we sign out. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be reaching out to all of the artists who've created for the art contest and asking their permission for me to be able to print and sell some of their work. So you'll actually be able to go on my amigaartwork.com website and purchase the actual Amiga artwork. For example, beautiful printout from Kevin. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Right next to it. 2 Androids. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I can do 5x7, 8x10, 11x17. Here's some stuff from Mixel, from Michael Dawes. Wow. This stuff is incredible. Here's some stuff from David Wright. Lovely stuff. Now, so far, I don't have any permission to sell any of this stuff. I have to ask them. And here's the cool thing is all of the artists who give me the thumbs up to sell their stuff, 20% of anything that I sell with their name on it goes right back to them. So they get a cut of everything. And it's going to be a nice way to help support the channel, to help get some more Amiga artwork out there. Some of these I'm going to have available actually matted on nice mats. I'm going to mat them for you. I don't want to do the framing because that would break in shipment, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. So look for my emails on that in the next couple of weeks, and then links on my website for how to buy that stuff. And right after the stream here, I'll be unlocking the 2021 gallery on amigaartwork.com, so you can go and see all of this artwork here. You can listen to all the music. You can watch all of the animations and have fun with them. So thank you all very much. And Vicky, I'll give you the last words as we're closing out. Take it away, Vicky.
Wow, that feels like a big responsibility. Yeah, just want to really say a huge thank you to our sponsors. It's very kind for everything that you've given to the contest. A massive thank you to all of the contributors. You have all produced stunning works of art, you know, in various forms using Amiga, and I'm just so thrilled that each year this contest just keeps on growing and growing and growing. So yes, please keep using your Amigas for what they're designed to be used for, which is creative outputs and making the most of your time on it. I'd also obviously like to extend a massive thank you to Doug for all of his tireless work setting this up. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like I just jump on at the very last minute for the victory lap almost. This definitely couldn't happen without your help, Doug. So thank you so much. You
love doing it.
Have worked so hard on this, and I'm sure I speak for everybody that we all appreciate your efforts. So thank you. And also just want to say a massive thank you to not just my patrons, but also your patrons, Doug. That, as Doug said, choosing, you know, the first, second place, etc. for each of the categories has been such a tough job this year. There was no category where it was just like, well, it's obvious. It was genuinely difficult, and our patrons helped out so much with their very valuable feedback. So thank you both to mine and also Doug's.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just want to say that I've immensely enjoyed this, and I hope that everybody else has. So just keep on being creative, keep an open mind, you know, and just go for it. It's awesome to see what everybody's creating. So yeah, Amiga forever, huh?
Amiga forever. So awesome. So this is Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast signing out.
See ya.